What up, what up, what up? What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Manifesting Stardom. As you get to be a part of my journey of being the biggest star in the world. Today is we still in the first week of the new year. It's Monday. And it's like the first Monday of the year, which is exciting for me because Mondays are my days where I get to reset. As y'all can see, I'm back to my red lights. I don't give a damn. I want my red lights back. That bright light is just kind of ugly. But what I did was I changed my iPad to be like in my notes to have a little practical light so you can still see my face, little texture, little dynamics, but we still in a vibe in a vibe of when I'm not recording videos, this is what my vibe is: low light, dim light. So so today in my devotions, I studied James 2. I studied James 2 verse 17 through verse 26, and in essence it basically talks about faith without works is dead. One particular part of the verse that stood out to me, it says, you can't show me you believe in God if you don't do good things. And so what James is talking about here is basically like, your faith gotta be in motion. Like, there's never been a person that truly has faith in God and doesn't do good things. There's never been a person. You know what I'm saying? It's people that believe that God exists, and it talks about that in the scripture. It talks about how even the devil, even demons know that God exists, but it doesn't make them do good things. But when you have faith, it'll actually show in your actions. Of course, that doesn't mean you're perfect, and that does not mean that you haven't done bad things or you don't do bad things, or sin or whatever. But if you have faith, there should be some good things that come out of you having faith. Otherwise, it's as good as dead. And that goes for your dreams as well. If you have faith in your dreams, if you have faith in your purpose, then there should be some action that comes out of that. If you believe that you're a singer, you should be singing. If you say you're a singer and you never sing, you saying it is as good as dead. If you say that you're a chef and that you're a cook and you never cook, just saying it is as good as dead. You know what I mean? So like, basically, faith without works is dead. A note that I wrote down was, if your faith doesn't lead you to do good things, it's as good as dead. You don't believe. Then I said, taking daily action is the only thing that will give you momentum and confidence. And I think I talked about this in my last episode, so you can see me. I talked about this in my last episode that if you say you want to do something, if I say that I'm a piano player, the only thing, or that I want to be a good piano player, the only thing that's going to give me confidence from saying that I'm an amateur to saying that I'm really good or that I'm pretty good is my action of knowing that I put in the work to practice. The only thing that made me feel more confident about being a guitarist, or I'll use the example of the first thing I ever did was I taught myself how to play guitar. When I taught myself how to play guitar, it gave me confidence to say, if I taught myself guitar, I could teach myself piano. Guitar gave me the confidence to say, if I can teach myself how to play guitar, then I can teach myself how to cut hair. If I could teach myself how to cut hair, I could teach myself how to edit videos. If I could teach myself how to edit videos, I could teach myself how to color the videos. If I could teach myself how to color the videos, I could teach myself how to produce my own music. And that builds your confidence, and your confidence builds momentum. But the only way that faith comes is through action. The only reason Michael Jordan believed that he was that nigga was because he put the work in. Because he actually practiced hours and hours and hours and hours. And so that's basically what we have to understand is like, bro, the only way you going to The only way that it'll come true is if you do the work. And the only way that you'll believe that it's coming true or that it will come true is if you know you're doing the work. Faith without works is dead. You can't say you have faith if you're not willing to work. Yeah, faith is in your mind, but faith is also in your hands. Oh, that was good. That was good. Preach, brother. Faith is in your mind, but faith is in your hands. Turn to somebody and say, faith is in your hands. Because if you got faith, that work, that physical work is going to manifest. It's going to manifest in the physical realm. And so, what steps are you taking that prove your faith is alive? You know, that's with Christ, but that's also with yourself. What steps are you taking? What steps are you taking that's showing you that you deserve what it is that you dream about? What steps are you taking that show you that you deserve a six-pack? What steps are you taking that show that you deserve to be financially free? What steps are you taking that show that you deserve to break generational curses? What steps are you taking that says you deserve to be able to vacation when you want? What steps are you taking that say you deserve to be a millionaire? That's what the faith produces. So you can't say you trust God. You can't say you're a Christian. Can't say you have faith if you don't do good things. And you can't say that you believe in your dream. You can't say that you expect your dream. You can't say that you deserve your dream if you don't put the actions in. So that's basically the premise of it. You know, heaven responds to motion. Heaven responds to motion. Heaven responds to what it is that you're doing. And people that aren't Christians, they talk about the universe, and they talk about how the universe gives you this and the universe gives you that, which is true. I just believe that God created the universe, but God created the universe, and the universe does give you back what you put out. You know, that energy you put out does come back to you. If everything you speak and you believe of yourself, you say, your body and the neurons within your brain is going to look for evidence to confirm that. So if you say that I'll never do this, I'll never do that, and jokingly, I'll never forget, I used to at my church, they used to have but they still do, they had enrichment class, which is basically like Sunday school for adults before church. And Elder Taylor, the teacher of the class, he's a musician, and this was like years ago when I was teaching myself guitar, and I told him how I was learning, and I told him I was learning through Guitar for Dummies, which is true. I love the Dummy series. That's what taught me how to play guitar, and that taught me piano. And I loved it because I could go at my own pace. Everything was broken down in layman's terms, and I just loved to be able to go page by page, and that gave me a sense of like accomplishment. And so he told me, he was like, you need to tape over that book, Dummies. He said, because you will never truly be who you want to be by calling yourself a dummy. Now I'm thinking, that's so over the top, that's so literal. Like, I'm not literally calling myself a dummy, but I just know he was like, no. He said the things that you speak are the things that you will be. What you say, what you think, what you internalize will be. So because you're not confident as a guitar player and you're using this, you're identifying as a dummy when it comes to guitar. That's humble of you, but that is not an identity that you need to take on. So tape over top of the book. I never taped over the book, but I know I should have. And I finally got it, because what we realize is when we make jokes or when we say things that we don't even really mean, or that we're joking, or that we're trying to be humble, or that we're just talking, we have no idea that our subconscious mind takes what we say as law. So you might consciously be joking, you might consciously not be meaning it, but your subconscious mind does not know the difference from what is real or what you mean and what you don't mean. And your subconscious mind is going to look for evidence that proves whatever that thing you say. So if I'm I'm learning guitar from Guitar for Dummies because that's the level that I'm at and I need to learn. Then I'm going to forever adopt that identity in everything that I do and pursue as it pertains to guitar, because I'm not a skilled musician. I'm learning from Guitar for Dummies because I'm a dummy, in essence, is what I'm thinking. But the reality is, until I start speaking that I'm a master at guitar, until I start speaking that I'm a professional guitarist, until I start speaking that I'm a good guitarist, that's I won't ever obtain that. And so that's just one example, but it is that deep, because our brains are so powerful. Because I said this yesterday, God gave us dominion in the earth. God gave us the power that when we speak things, that it can be so. So when we say something, we are literally creating a reality. When we speak something, we're creating a reality. And the more scientific side of that is that when we're speaking it, and our brain, it will look for evidence to make that a reality. And as it looks for evidence, it builds confidence from that evidence, and it creates more and more of that reality when we attract what we say. So faith without works is dead. You speak life into what it is that you need, that you desire or that you believe. And then when you speak life into it, you follow it with due action. Because when you follow it with action, your brain will pick that up and continue to make that a stronger and stronger belief. And it builds momentum. Heaven responds to it. Heaven responds to faith. Faith in motion. Faith without works is dead. And if your faith does not lead you to do good things, it is as good as dead. If your dreams don't believe you to do good things, to facilitate them, they're as good as dead. So that's the episode for the day. You know what I'm going to say. You ain't got to like, you ain't got to comment, but you do got to subscribe. Tune into the next episode. I'll holler at y'all.